VR issue it was transgender and identity issues. So we decided to try and find an empathy point to work with, and decided to create a VR game experience called Looking Glass. And in this game, you enter and you tell us how you identify in the world. Then you step into this world that was created. You're going to go through the day in the life of the world interacting with you in a way different than what you expect. So from the morning, it's maybe choosing what you're going to put on in your closet, what options are available to you. It's going to the coffee shop and your name being called out for your cup of coffee and reaching for it and someone thinking maybe that's for someone else. So the idea is starting with sort of microaggressions that are you're bumping up against how you're feeling inside, but how the rest of the world is seeing you and what they're expecting to have happen. Maybe stopping off at the gym before work and choosing which bathroom that you go into, and maybe there are private stalls there, so there's not much to navigate. So the experience that you would have would be going in and bumping into a microaggression, but then having choices come up that you have to make. Are you going to push and insist on being treated the way that you want to be treated? Are you going to take a path of least resistance? Are you going to voice frustration? And it's here at those crossroads where you would have an opportunity to click to the response to that feeling and saying, yeah, feeling frustrated, yes. And here is where a first-person narrative of someone that experiences this in real life could come up and say, yes, this is one of those things you don't think about normally, but that we have to go through. And a great example we thought of that would be going to the DMV and having to check male or female on your driver's license application. And if you checked one, but the clerk there expected you to have checked another, they hand you the paper back and say, I think you made a mistake. What do you do at that point? Do you say it's not a mistake, this is who I am, and then would they push back again and say, well, I would need proof. Do you have a birth certificate with you? You know, what are the functional, logistical things that start unraveling for people in these everyday kind of things? So experiencing those nuisance kind of issues. Then the idea is that over the course of the day, you could be going for a job interview or at the workplace, and how pronouns are used in your presence. Do you correct the pronoun use? Do you roll with it? Going to a doctor's office, asking for medical care. What do you check on medical forms? What kind of treatment might you be geared towards this way or that way based on assumptions? And finally, sort of over the course of the day, the opportunity for the microaggressions to build to what has really been in the news and what people are used to hearing about currently, which is this issue of the policies and bathrooms, creating that scenario. And now it's not just necessarily a microaggression issue, but maybe a chance of more aggressive interaction that you might be faced with. So the whole idea of putting you in someone's shoes, and it starts maybe as nuisance, but a whole day of building nuisance that you struggle with, what does that look like for you? And then just sort of giving the person to have that's experiencing it the opportunity to say, why does this have to be so difficult? So, and allowing then for more education to happen with these sort of reward movies of going then further into the conversation of what can be done and what little changes can make a big difference for individuals. Anything?